What's going on, brothers? I hope you're all having a blessed and fantastic day today. It is now week 4 of my road to making $10,000 per month with my personal brand, and we've made a little bit of progress over the past week. So, what ended up happening is basically I started the second channel and I ended up uploading the first video. And right now, that first video has around 340ish, 350ish views, something like that, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's actually pretty significant considering it's the first video I've uploaded. So that's pretty good. And from all of those views, I actually got 2 people to join a free school community I started to get an offer up and ready. And that's really significant because essentially the business model I'm using right now is Andrew Kirby's business model, which is essentially you can either post content or do some type of cold outreach or something like that. And the goal is to funnel people into a free community. And then in that community, you get them to hop on some free research calls. We're able to ask them questions and actually get an offer prepared. And then basically you go back to those people maybe like a week or so later and be like, hey, I made this offer specifically for you. And then you just start charging them. And that's essentially how you get started making money online, according to Andrew Kirby. I heard that. I watched, he had like this whole like month-long cohort or whatever. I watched the whole thing. I was like, you know what, that sounds pretty interesting. I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna keep doing that until something happens. So that's my business model. I made a little bit of progress at the start. Right, I've got 2 people to go into the community. Now I did send them some messages, but they didn't. Nothing really happened out of it, which is okay. That's just part of the course. I just have to keep doing this. Keep repeating these actions and improving them along the way, and eventually I'm going to get some people on these research calls. Then I'm going to be able to figure out what exactly it is I'm going to offer. So yeah, that's a little bit of the progress that I've been making thus far. And as for the lessons I've learned along the way is one thing I really wanted to touch on is that the path kind of lights up as you take action, as you keep walking along it. What I mean when I say that is when I first started this challenge, right? When I first decided I was gonna completely start over from scratch with this challenge with making 10K per month, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I know I wanted it to somewhat revolve around creating content because that's something I like doing, but I didn't know what I was gonna offer. I didn't know what I was gonna talk about. I was kind of just like I was basically clueless. So my first thought was that, oh, okay, I've gotten pretty good at fitness, right? I've changed my body pretty significantly over the past 2 years. So I was like, oh, maybe that's something I can monetize. So I started that for like a week. I made this whole new channel, made like 2 videos. I started an Instagram page around it. And then like a week into it, I realized that I didn't actually want to do that, right? Like fitness is it's something I kind of just like doing for myself, right? I go into the gym, I like working out, but not to the point where I want to monetize something out of that, create a business out of that. Then I was back to the drawing board, and I had to ask myself, okay, you tried that didn't really work. What do I actually like talking about? Since this whole thing had to revolve around content, I had to ask myself, what do I actually like talking about? And then after thinking a little bit, I was like, okay, business. I like talking about business. I like business in general. But I came across one problem with that is that, okay, I like talking about business, but how am I going to talk about business if I haven't really succeeded in business myself, right? Because nobody's going to listen to some random 19-year-old who's broke, who's trying to, I mean, I guess they would, but it's not really, I didn't really see how I could monetize that. And maybe there are ways, but that's kind of not that isn't the thought process I went down. So basically, I was thinking, I was like, okay, maybe I can't talk about my own business, but maybe I can talk about other people's businesses and talk about, why they're so effective, why they're so successful. Like, okay, that's a good idea because I kind of did that anyways. Like, this is I don't know if I'm the only one who does this. I'm probably not, but it's kind of weird. Like, I'll be on YouTube. I'll find some like random entrepreneurs page or some random YouTube channel, and then like I'll click on one of their videos, and then I'll go to the link in their description just because I'm interested in what they're offering. Because I don't know, this is fascinating to me because there's so many different products and services you can offer. It's like it's kind of crazy the amount of things you can monetize, and that's just something I like to do. Is like, oh, okay, this guy's selling that service. Oh, this guy has that product. And it's just interesting to look into. I was like, okay, I could that could actually work because I actually like doing that, and that's basically what I ended up doing. Is the whole premise of the second channel is me talking about other people's businesses and like, okay, he's doing this and that's why that works, and just analyzing and figuring out how this stuff works. and it's been pretty effective so far. And then I was like, okay, I did that, but how exactly am I going to monetize that? And then I came across the idea of, oh, I could like just learn about funnels, essentially, learn about sales funnels, and then I can monetize sales funnels with the. I'm explaining this really bad. Essentially, the whole point of that, it was like I didn't know what I was doing at the start, but then I just kept doing stuff. I kept taking action, and then like I kind of started figuring it out along the way. I was like, oh, I can do that. That can lead to that. That can lead to that. But that wouldn't have happened if I never took that first step. That was kind of a bad story. I'm not very good at telling stories. Maybe that's something I'll improve in the future. But yeah, that's basically the whole point of that. Was the path is going to light up along the way as you keep taking action. Now, another thing I wanted to point out, another lesson I learned is that views aren't as important as you think, right? It's kind of just a vanity metric. It doesn't really mean anything. And the reason I'm saying that is because I uploaded a TikTok video, I think it was a few days ago, and it was the first video on that page that actually blew up and ended up getting around 21,000 views, right? And I was like, oh my goodness, this blow up. It's like it's gonna be crazy. And then I looked at the metrics on the video, right? It had 21,000 views. 21,000 views. And it only had like 50 likes, which is actually an insanely bad ratio. If you're only getting 50 likes for a 21,000 view video, there's obviously a problem with that. You're obviously doing something wrong. Then it got me thinking about this idea I've been hearing going around a lot lately. Is like views don't equal dollars, right? You can get a lot of views, especially on short form, but that doesn't necessarily translate to anything tangible. And it just got me thinking, that views aren't making me money is basically the lesson that I've learned. Is like, okay, I need to, rather than chasing virality with my content, I need to actually provide some sort of value that actually helps somebody, that actually can change their life, that can actually help them achieve some sort of goal. And that's what I need to focus on, rather than trying to blow up and go viral. I need to actually provide some sort of impact on people. And what really made that stand out is the video I posted before that only got around like 1.5 thousand views on TikTok, but the likes and comments were a lot higher than the video that had like 20 times the views. And that's kind of crazy to think about, right? You can get a lower viewed video that has a much stronger impact on people than something that just goes viral, which is why I decided to position my content more so to provide value, to actually help people, to provide an impact, and actually help somebody achieve some sort of goal. So that's kind of my game plan going forward for the time being, is not to optimize for views, but to optimize for impact, because I feel like that's going to help me reach my goals a lot faster. Now, as far as the plans are, as far as my plans are for the next week and whatnot, is I've kind of been debating as to whether or not to keep posting on Instagram and TikTok, because I'm not really seeing how that's going to help me moving forward. But that's just something I'm going to be thinking about over the next week. As far as my actual business model is, I'm going to keep doing this YouTube stuff. Got to keep, optimizing the community, optimizing my messaging to get people into the community, and just keep churning that out, keep grinding that out, so I can, start figuring out what exactly it is I'm going to offer as far as funnels are concerned. Then also, I'm just going to be learning funnels in general. I've started, I found like this free 10-hour course on the internet. I'm just going to go through that whole thing, learn all I can, maybe get some designs out, build up a portfolio that I can use in the future, essentially, and maybe get some business. But yeah, that's kind of the game plan for the next week. So that's all y'all are getting out of me. Hopefully y'all found some value in this. Hopefully you can, you take some tidbit of knowledge from one of the lessons I've learned along the way. Or maybe you didn't. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.